Synchronicity University has an incredible jam-packed March season coming up. And for a very limited time, you can choose your tuition rate, 5-week courses with me. I'm finally back after 2 years away. And Zamboni Funk and Celeste Brooks. You add to this an incredible speaker series, which includes superstar astrologer Maurice Fernandez. Well, you can see here that there's so much to look forward to and even more. Choose your tuition rate on now at synchronicityuniversity.com. Links are in the description below. Hello, fabulous superstar Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2024. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boy, is this a very special time. This month's new moon takes place on the 9th, and it is in fellow air sign Aquarius. This is a worldly part of your sky, having to do with long-distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, and legal matters. Now, also indicated here is your own personal beliefs that help you to make sense of the world, that guide your life. And so here's the thing. This new moon is speaking in a conversation of tension with Uranus. And that does make this energy a little tricky because it does suggest that there is a new beginning, but it may feel like it comes out of nowhere. It may feel like it's not exactly what you asked for. You add to this the fact that this part of the sky is going to be getting some very intense energy in the first part of the month. On the 5th, Mercury. On the 13th, it's Mars. And on the 16th, it is Venus. But what happens is as these planets enter this part of the sky, they very quickly move to meet Pluto in the sky. And so there's this overall sense of consequence and, yes, a very intense orientation, a turning point, if you will, in these particular areas. And in some way, I do think that as developments transpire, a part of you is going to be wanting power, but also be looking at where you feel powerless. So if it is that you are, for example, if you work or are a student in an institute of higher learning, this could be a time when there are developments and changes there that you feel powerless over, but you have to address and deal with very quickly. But also possible is as a result of experiences that have you not feeling empowered in these areas, you decide to pursue, perhaps quite adamantly, higher education for yourself at this time. And it takes a lot of people, perhaps including yourself, by surprise. Now, this could be an immigration or citizenship matter coming up, maybe the need for it if you are traveling at this time. Just make sure you have those things to keep yourself as secure in place in advance, knowing that it is likely to be a journey that's going to have a lot of surprises and perhaps even life-changing experiences to them. It could be possible that there is a new beginning with a legal matter, not necessarily the most fun consideration with these very intense energies, but it's going to be up to you to decide how to engage them, how to navigate them, and how it is that you're going to find power within these spaces as well. More personally, though, I think that's where this energy is going to play out for most Geminis out there, where you may feel like your own beliefs are challenged in some way. You might be considering a whole other way of looking at the world around you as well. And all of this could lend itself to some discomfort. And yet sometimes challenge is good. You'll know which is which. The important thing is to consider whom it is that might be challenging you, how personally you're going to take it or not. The 24th of this month features this month's full moon, and this full moon takes place at the foundation of your chart. This has to do with home and your past, your living situation, your family of origin as well, perhaps your parents where that applies. And full moons tend to bring a matter to completion or culmination in some way. We do have a supremely harmonious alignment between the full moon and Jupiter. And that brings with it karmic blessings here. Your spirit guides, your ancestors are operating on high to bless your life at this time. However, we also have Saturn and Mercury across the sky. And so there may be some need to check in with yourself, to be honest with yourself, and to make a choice, make a decision of some kind that lends itself to change. So if it is that you are looking at buying, selling, moving, or attracting a new roommate, the fact that Saturn and Mercury are across the sky do suggest there's an element here of necessity. Like you are weighing your options, but looking at what's required and what makes sense to do. It may feel as if what's the responsible thing to do is a change, and you're trying to figure out whether or not you want it, how you're going to find and finesse your way through this moment that's asking for some sense of transition, perhaps to your living situation. But this could also not necessarily affect your living situation. It could be a change of dynamic within your family of origin that you're looking at here, where you're being asked to take on more responsibility, and you're seeing how you feel about that. Or maybe somebody else is taking on more responsibility with a home-related matter, and you're seeing how you feel about that as well. Perhaps you're asking yourself tough questions related to your past. And that can be a very valuable way of transforming your relationship to the past at this time as well. Being honest with yourself sometimes is hard, but ultimately helps us to become that much more grounded in the present. When you're able to make peace with what was, well, you're able to be that much more excited about what has yet to be. Now, I want to add an incredibly important celestial meeting in the sky that's happening on the 19th. This is Chiron meeting the North Node, a really big deal of an energy. This is an accelerated and karmic path towards greater healing and embracing the healer that you have yet to be. Wherever Chiron is, it's like we know on some level that our most important lessons are there. And even if it's hard, even if it feels challenging, and especially if it is that it makes us feel vulnerable, still we know that we have to engage this area of life. And for you, it is friendships and group alliances now that are needing to be engaged. But with the North Node here, either you're meeting new people who are a positive and healing influence on your life, or it is that you're coming to a new understanding of the value of the friendships in your life at this time. When it is a conjunction to the North Node, you are on an accelerated path towards karmic blessings, and that really is key here. It has to do with a doorway opening from which new people, places, things, situations enter, which on a more meta level pull you towards greater love and greater wisdom. Your friends are going to help you to do that now. And if it is that you're being asked to participate in any group dynamics, perhaps professional group dynamics, well, chances are that those may not necessarily be the easiest bonds, and it may not necessarily be the easiest work, but there's something within you that will know whether or not this is work you're ready to do. And it could end up being a very healing journey for you now. Now, when it comes to matters of love, on the 16th of the month, Venus moves into fellow air sign Aquarius. Is going to be there stepping right into next month as well. But it's as soon as Venus moves in here, very quickly moves to meet Pluto in the sky. That is huge, I have to say. This is a big turning point moment in the context of love. And for you, it has to do with what do you really believe about love? And is it working for you or not? What are the higher values you hold? And where is it that they may be changing? And where is it now that perhaps because of the values you have, you feel that you found yourself in circumstances that aren't necessarily fair to you? And what is it that you feel ready to do about that as well? For those of you open to meeting someone new, it is very possible now that you connect with someone very different than you've known before. Perhaps they have a different religious background, maybe a different language, maybe a different country even. You do want to be careful if they actually live abroad, because with Venus meeting Pluto, There's almost a sense of things being messy in some way. And so you just want to strive to be honest with yourself. I look at the energy as we navigate further with Venus in this part of the sky. As we move to the end of the month, Venus is going to connect with Uranus. That energy is a shock a minute. So if you are connecting with someone new, and especially if they are from or live from someplace very different than you've known before, well, that's really where it may feel as if what comes forward takes you by surprise. And you get to figure out what it is you're going to do about that. For those of you just starting to date someone, you could learn something about this person's beliefs, maybe their political beliefs or philosophical beliefs that feel like a game changer in some way, and could feel very all or nothing in some way as well. Maybe what you learn just feels like it captivates you that much more, and you want to know even more about their religious background, what's really involved there, as an example, if you will. But it could also be that you learn things about what this person believes that goes the opposite way. It is an all or nothing moment here, like ripping off a Band-Aid. You might find out this person believes something and it just really does not sit right for you, and it could be a deal breaker. And for those of you in an established bond, whether it is where in the world you are supposed to be, that could be one area that the two of you are considering together, but also possible is that your partner may find a certain enthusiasm or focus towards perhaps some religious beliefs, a religious institution, or perhaps some philosophical beliefs as well. Maybe they were always there, but now they're showing this depth around that. Maybe it just wasn't really a factor so much anymore until now it is. Well, the thing to remember, of course, is that you can't get in the way of someone's journey, especially their spiritual journey. It's going to be what it needs to be. And so you get to decide how you're going to engage that and interact with that and how you feel about that as well. Now, outside of that possible scenario, yeah, it could be talking about relocating together, thinking about where it is that the two of you are supposed to be in the world. And also, because this part of the sky is so philosophical, what have you believed about love? And what has the reality with your partner shown you? For a small percentage of Geminis out there, if you have felt for a while that you might not be in the right relationship for you, this could be that big turning point moment that helps you to figure out what going a different way could be for you. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It is a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I am going to say I love the energy of that full moon because it is trine Jupiter. The full moon is at the foundation of your chart. Chances are at that full moon, you're going to want to spend time on your own in the privacy of your home, shutting the door to the outside world, having some isolation, whether it is to nurture your own ideas, to nurture a home-based business at this time, or just to process some really powerful feelings that could be stirring for you now. Considering that just days earlier, we get the North Node meeting Chiron in a friendship part of your sky, it could be a really good moment to actually seek counsel with a friend who has a healing presence in your life. They'll help you to make sense of all that is stirring within you now as part of ultimately bringing inner peace and aligning with all that has yet to be. Thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month. Would choose your membership rate at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.